Good morning, I'm Chaplain John Painter at the Ralph H. Johnson VA Medical Center, and I'm here to share with you our chaplain's thought for the day. A favorite children's book at our house is entitled, "And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street." It was the first children's book written by Theodore Geisel, whom you may know by his pen name, Dr. Seuss. Published in 1937, the story is about a boy named Marco, who, as he walks home from school, imagines a parade of people and vehicles traveling along Mulberry Street. When Marco arrives home, he is greeted by his dad, who says, "Draw up your stool and tell me the sights on the way home from school." Marco's dad wants to hear Marco's story. Everyone loves a good story. My favorite moments are those spent sharing stories with friends, family, and new acquaintances. When I was a child, family would gather in a living room or in the yard and share our stories. Aunts and uncles, cousins, parents, and grandparents told their stories of the week. These stories were true, filled with humor, and they always involved some level of drama or adventure. In hindsight, I realized that these stories were not only interesting, but served a moral and educational purpose. They taught us to appreciate experience, to appreciate wisdom, humor in the face of adversity, and the role of faith in the lives of those closest to us. In the early Methodist movement, John Wesley would ask those attending his meetings, "How is it with your soul?" Those present were invited to tell the story of their walk with God, the good and the bad. Others, listening to the stories, could relate and find wisdom and comfort in the common experience. As we find ourselves spending most of our time at home with our families these days, I wanted to encourage you to do one of the most important things you can do. Share the stories of your life with those you love, especially with your children. Tell them the funny stories, stories of when you were afraid or challenged and overcame fear, when you were hurt, when you cared for someone, or when someone else showed special care for you. Right now, we have the luxury of time and togetherness. So let's take advantage of these times to grow closer to those we love by sharing our life story. It's vitally important. Rachel Freed, who writes about the value of storytelling, reminds us that our stories benefit future generations. She says, "Stories connect the past and present to the future. Our stories and our learning from them honors and respects our ancestors and us. Stories can awaken future generations to their potential. They model a way for our children to use their stories to release themselves as they connect to their history and to our values." I'd like to hear your stories too. So when I see you around the medical center, share a good story with me. Blessings on your journey, and we'll see you at the next Chaplain's Moment.